All praise and glory, honor given to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakar HaKadosh. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who ruled well and teaching us this 100% truth. Shalom and salutations to the hopeful elect, beginning with the 144,000 and the rest of the men, women, and children of the elect. I'm your brother Magan Shalamar of the Philadelphia Great Millstone Playing Tables Camp. The title of this video will be, in the words of beloved elder Pastor Tahar, you miss a day, you miss a lot, because Iran just signed a $25 million deal with Russia, this nuclear deal, and this came out about an hour ago. So that reminded me of, we'll get that scripture in Ezekiel chapter 38, because it was a future prophecy that we seeing playing out in our present time now. You know, that's why Yahweh said he's going to bring all nations to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, and that's what he's doing over there in the Levant region. America has gotten herself into this war because the small hats drew her into it, and there's no way to get out of it. And that's because Yahweh had already prophesied to his prophets that this was going to happen. So the men of Great Millstones has been bringing this out at all times. And the Christian churches, they can't go into the prophecies. They can't go into Ezekiel 38 and break that down. So we're going to let this video play. Fair use, not for monetary gain, but for educational purposes only. Fair use.
Iran and Russia just signed a $25 billion deal to build new nuclear plants in Iran, including what is going to be Iran's largest nuclear power plant to date. After months of war and decades of sanctions to try and stop Iran's nuclear program, Putin came in to save the day. And next week, Iranian President Pezeshkian and Russian President Vladimir Putin will be meeting in Kyrgyzstan, where I'm sure they're going to discuss this amongst many other issues. This new deal between Iran's Atomic Energy Association and Russia's Rosatom will oversee the construction of 4 new third-generation nuclear plants. They'll be located in Sirik, Hormozgan province, and southern Iran. It's worth noting also that the CIA director, John Ratcliffe, was in Moscow yesterday. Word on the street is he was in Russia to pressure President Putin into getting Iran to open up the Strait of Hormuz. It turns out that he flew all that way for nothing, because President Putin didn't even meet with him, and the next day we got a major new announcement between Russia and Iran building more nuclear power plants. Iran and Russia just signed a $25 billion.
And so we know this is on the heels of Trump threatening any nation that is partnership within the partnership with Iran is going to also be dealt with by the U.S. sanctions and all. So this is what their reply was. You see what Russia did. He stepped up, Putin stepped up and signed this nuclear deal, $25 billion deal. So that goes to show you how these nations are feeling about America. They don't take America as being the powerful country as it once were. There's no fear in these other countries, because if they did, they wouldn't have done that. Not off the hills, the next day they go and make a deal, $25 billion deal, after Trump came out and said there shall be no nation supporting Iran, or they're going to be dealt with harshly. So what I did was I went and researched this nuclear deal. So I googled the Iran and Russia nuclear deal, and AI said Iran and Russia has deepened their nuclear cooperation through a major $25 billion agreement for the construction of a new nuclear power plant alongside broader strategic and military ties. It says $25 billion project. Iran and Russia agreed to a memorandum of understanding for Rosatom, Russia's state nuclear corporation, to build 4 third-generation nuclear power units in Sirik, Hormozgan province, totaling roughly 5,000 megawatts of capacity. It says the upcoming leadership talks, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian and Russian President Vladimir Putin are scheduled to meet on the sidelines of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit to further advance their energy and strategic projects. It says broader context and geopolitical tensions. It says the strategic partnership, Moscow and Tehran signed a comprehensive strategic partnership treaty expanding cooperation as both face heightened tensions with the United States and its allies. So they full aware of the tension between the United States and their allies against them. Moscow, Tehran, you know. It says historical calibration. Russia previously built Iran's sole operating commercial nuclear power in Billiion. Wow. International stance. Russia has consistently opposed the reimposition of punishing UN sanctions on Iran and condemned military strikes against Iranian nuclear sites, while Tehran maintains that its nuclear ambition may remain strictly civilian, because they saying they only they're doing that because they need this nuclear power. They're not doing it for the nuclear weapons. They're doing it to broaden their nuclear energy, which they have a right. They produce the what is that? Some metal, uranium metal, in that land. And this is another viewpoint from the Iran. What is that? Iran International. It says Iran and Russia signed a $25 billion agreement Friday to build 4 third-generation nuclear powers unit in Sirik, Hormozgan province, according to Iranian media. The deal was concluded on the sidelines of the Atom 2025 exhibition in Moscow between the Iranian firm Iran Hamas and Russia's Rosatom project company. Each unit is expected to generate about 1,255 megawatts, bringing the total output of 5,020 megawatts. It says earlier this month, Atomic Energy Organization Chief Mohammad Eslami and Rosatom Director Alexei Lukashev signed a memorandum on cooperation over small nuclear plants in Iran. So this is their nuclear plant that Russia built. It's called the Iran's Billiion Nuclear Power Plant. So yeah, this thing is heating up, man. So that's right on the heels of Trump threatening any nation, any country that's partnering with Iran and supporting Iran against the U.S. and Israel is going to be severely punished. See? So this goes to Ezekiel chapter 38, coming to fruition. And I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, and the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog. And that land, that northern land over there, the land of Magog is Russia. So it's talking about the Russian people there, the Russians, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus said Yahweh, the Almighty Power, Behold, I am against thee, O God, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, all of their military might as well. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaw. Because before 1991, I believe, Russia was known as USSR, which stood for Union Soviet Socialist Republicans. And see, when they was USSR, they was hard-nosed military country, had nuclear weapons, was a strong opposer of the United States, and along with China as well. But Russia, USSR, was considered the major, one of the major enemy of the United States. And the Lord said, I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaw. So he's going to turn them back to that old spirit, that fighting spirit they had when he was USSR. And I will bring thee forth in all thine army, horses and horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor. Yeah, all of their ICBM missiles, all of their tanks that carries those type missiles. You see, because Russia has the most ICBM missiles in the world, and America is second. Even a great company with bucklers and shields, all them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia. Now Persia is Iran today. You see, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomar, which is Turkey today, and all his bands. The house of Togomar of the North Quarters and his bands, and many people with thee. So all of those little countries that's along with Turkey and them, they gonna all mount up alongside of with Russia. And this is the point in verse 7. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And we just read in that news article that Russia was against the U.S. with the sanctions and the threat of nuclear attack to Iran, and they're forcing Russia's hand to act. And this is all the plan of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. This is his plan that he's been long waiting to do, which is destroy Esau's kingdom. And how he's going to do is when he destroy Babylon the Great. That's like the capital of that's Basra. That's the main headquarters of the Edomites. So when Yahweh Shai comes down along with his angels inside those chariots and firing down those laser beams and the ICBM missiles coming down, it's going to destroy America, man. This place is going to become that lake of fire. So this is what's being gathered. This is the plan of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. We keep the faith that this is going to happen soon, because we're seeing these prophecies flying off the table. Where is your preacher, so-called Christians? Where's your preacher breaking down Ezekiel 38, calling upon the true name of the Lord Yahweh and his only begotten son Yahweh Shai? They're nowhere. They're preaching that white devil who they call Jesus. You see, dressed like a hippie. But Yahweh Shai is a so-called black man, and he's coming with all power inside of those chariots, and this place is going to be destroyed. Only the elect is going to be saved out of here during that time of the hour of temptation. He's going to protect the elect, because during that hour of temptation is when that mark of the beast is going to be on this earth, which is the RFID chip. That's the new world order that has to come first before everything ticks off, and that full third world war actually kicks off, because you're actually seeing the build up. And this happened today, so you're seeing the build up. So we're getting close when this devil come down with that new world order, which is the MOTB, which is the RFID chip that get placed in the right hand of your forehead in order to buy or sell. Come upon the whole entire earth. You see? So with that, I pray you edified. Call halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Kahar Kadash. Again, double honor to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom.